Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Hey everyone, so glad you could join me again this week, or if this is the first time, welcome. Today is about abs, so it is going to be absolutely fabulous. So we're gonna touch on one of my favorite exercises called the superhero. So what are your abs? They are your core. Your core is basically from the rib cage down to your hips all the way around. So it's not just your belly, it is also your back. The importance of this is it deals with our everyday movements, our balance, our coordination, and this is a big source of strength. If you find that, I know in colder months when it's icy, my balance and my coordination is off, the core is actually responsible for those little movements. We have muscles in there that stabilize. So having a strong core helps with balance, slipping on sidewalks, all that kind of fun stuff that come in the colder months and just year round in general. So we're going to take this down to the floor today, but first I want you to find a safe spot. Move your four-legged friends. I've even told some of my two-legged friends that they got to get out of here. Grab your water and we're going to warm up and then we're going to take it down to the ground to be absolutely fabulous. So join us after the break.
Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
All right, everyone, I hope you are ready to work. So come to a nice standing position. I'm standing on my mat. My feet are hip distance apart. We're going to get started with the warm-up. The warm-up prepares the body for the exercise. So keeping that in mind, we're going to start with a side bend stretch. You're going to want to keep note of this technique because we're going to do an exercise with it later. So I'm standing nice and tall, like I'm a giant stack of Lego. My hands are at my sides, my arms are at my sides, my palms are against the outer side of my thighs. So I'm going to take a stretch think of your side belly muscles, okay? So I'm going to slide my left hand towards my left heel, so down the side. So I'm doing a side bend, like a tiny side crunch, getting a stretch along the side of my body and coming up. So it's a little bit of a bend. Now I'm going to slide my right hand down my right leg, getting a little bit of a bend. So you're kind of bending side to side. You're between two pieces of bread, imagine. So you're not going forward and back, just simply side to side. So feel the stretch here. So we are warming up these muscles to work them later. We're gonna do one more time each side. So to the right and up, and then to the left and up. That should feel pretty good. You always want to go to the point where you feel some stretch, no pain. All right, we're gonna do some torso swings or sort of body swings just to get some movement in the torso. So your torso is everything kind of from your chest to your hips. My hands are at my sides. I'm gonna rotate my body to the left. So imagine you're taking your body, coming around to the side, but you're gonna look over your shoulder and say, hey, how's it going? Back to center. So it's a bit of a swing movement to it, so we can pick up the pace. I'm gonna go to the right. Look over my right shoulder, looking behind me. Hey, how's it going? So that's nice and slow. I'm gonna just pick that up just to get some rotation in the body. So I'm gonna go to the left and center and right and center. Just feeling a stretch, never pain. Warm up isn't about pain. Exercise should not be about pain. To the side and back to center. Oh, that feels good. So that kind of warms up your abdominal muscles, and you're gonna see why in a little bit. So this one is like a toe tap. So I'm standing nice and tall, my legs are hip distance apart, and I'm gonna take my right foot and I'm gonna tap the floor in front of me like I'm going to step on a bug that's about 6 inches to 8 inches in front of me. I'm just gonna tap the floor and bring it back to center. I'm gonna squish that bug with my left foot and bring it back to center. So we can pick up this pace. You're gonna hear my feet a little bit sticking to the mat as they move, so you can listen to that for pace. So you can stay here. I'm gonna kick it up a pace. Once upon a time, I was a Highland dancer, so there was lots of kind of flinging of the legs. So here I go, I'm picking it up. 1, 2. Keep moving. And good job. All right, that should get the blood flowing to those legs. So we are going to do all of our exercises on the floor. These are all about those amazing abs. So take your time. If you need to grab a drink, go ahead and do so, and you can join me on the floor. All right, so we are going to start off on sitting on our butt. Our knees are bent, feet flat on the floor, and then you're gonna go ahead and lay down, keeping those knees bent, okay? So I want you to think to our warm-up that we just did, those side bends. That is very similar to what we're gonna be doing laying down. So I'm laying down on the mat, okay? Feet are flat. Imagine the space between your low back and the mat. Imagine your back and your body melting, reducing that space, okay? Your abdominals are tight, so if I come in, you're standing or you're laying here, imagine if I drop an orange on your belly. That reflex action, that tightening of those muscles, that's what I want, but you just need to still be able to breathe. Now for this exercise, please keep your nose towards the ceiling. So you want to be in a nice long position, chin towards your chest, just slightly like you're holding a big Christmas orange. Now we're going to use our abdominals and come up a couple inches. So you're going to bring your head and your shoulders a couple inches off the mat, your shoulder blades no higher. Arms are at your sides, palms are facing your legs, the sides of your legs. Now I'm going to do that side bend that we did in the warm-up. I'm going to reach my left hand towards the left heel along the side of my body, doing a side crunch. Back to center, right side, right hand towards the right heel. Back to center, so you're working the sides of your abdominals, left and center and right and center and left and back to center and right and center. Come to lying down. Good job. So if you felt this in your neck, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, sometimes it means we weren't utilizing our belly muscles properly, or they're just not strong enough and our neck wants to do the work. So you can stay lying down as long as you can keep that side crunch moving. So if that feels better, you can do that for the second set. So get set up again. Imagine that space in the low back, reducing. Hands are along the sides of your body. Your palms are facing the outside of your legs. So the inside fleshy part of your arms is facing your body. So I'm going to nod my chin slightly. Bring my head and shoulders up off the mat. And I do those little side crunches. Left fingertips towards the left heel. Right fingertips towards the right heel. So I'm moving a little quicker this time. I'm in the center and then I go to the left. Center, go to the right. Ooh, I can feel this. Left and center and right and center. One more each side. Left and center and right and center. Lower it down. Good job. So we are going to flip over onto all fours. So take your time. This is a great time to grab a sip of water if you need. So I'm going to come onto all fours on my mat here. You're going to hear all kinds of crunching. So we're going to work on the plank exercise. My arms are straight, my hands are beneath my shoulders, my knees are beneath my hips, my fingers are spread wide. And I'm going to talk through the exercise. I'm going to give you some variations. So the plank strengthens the core. So we're going to do a modified plank to start, and then we can kick it up if you so choose. So I want you to think of not pressing into your wrists. So if your hands are pushing into the mat, imagine the weight of your body being distributed evenly through your hands. I'm going to move my knees behind me, so further away from my butt, a few inches. So I'm going to go about 6 inches, okay? Now I can feel my abs. The tops of my feet are flat on the floor. I can feel my stomach muscles working. If this is your pose, this is where I want you to stay. So I'm moving my feet further away from my butt. Now I don't want your bum sticking way out. Your bum goes with your back, so you've got a nice long line. So I don't want your bum pushing way up towards the ceiling. So when I move my knees back, everything comes into one long line. If this is enough, you stay here. Otherwise, I'm going to move my knees back just a little further. Everything's in one long line. My hips are in line with my spine. Belly is tight. Holding it here and breathing. 3, 2, and 1. You can come out of this position. I'm simply moving back to all fours. So that is a very beginner version of the plank, and if that's where you're at, awesome. If you want to kick it up a notch with me, you can feel free to do so for our next set. I often do 3 sets of planks when I'm working. If your arms get tired at any time, this is your workout. Feel free to take a break if you need to and hop back in when you're ready. So this time, I'm going to move my knees further away from me, tops of the feet flat on the floor. So I am in a nice long line, but my shins are still flat on the floor. This is getting a little tougher, guys. So I'm gonna hold here and breathe, using those belly muscles. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So we're holding these planks for approximately 10 seconds, around there. Okay, so we're gonna do a third set, and I'm gonna give you the full out version. So I've shown you 2 variations where we've gone into level 1 and level 2. We're going to go to level 3. So stick with the level that works for you. Now I'm going to reset here because I notice I'm really pressing into the mat. So I'm just going to reposition my hands, make sure my wrists and shoulders are in line. This time I'm going to extend my legs out behind me. So I'm going to curl my toes under and bring my legs straight out behind so I'm in the shape of a plank. So it looks like a long board on an angle. So my back is flat, my hips are in line with my spine. So you're not having your butt poking way up to the ceiling. It's in line with everything else. Use your tummy muscles, you've got this. My toes are curled under. Okay, and my feet are starting to sweat. And 3, 2, and 1. Good job, you guys. You can lower down onto all fours. And I'm going to come all the way down onto my belly. So take your time. Join me on the mat or on the floor all the way onto your belly. So I'm going to lay down flat on my stomach. All right, so let's just relax here for a second while I talk you through the beginning steps of the exercise. This is the superhero, one of my favorites. It's going to work so the core, but not just the belly. When you think of the core, it's going to work the back muscles too. So I want you to breathe during this exercise. That's something people often forget. And I don't want you tilting your neck, so bringing your nose up towards the sky. Think of your neck being just like part of your spine, so in line with your spine. So I want you to reach your arms out in front of you, palms flat on the floor. So my arms are probably a little wider than shoulder distance. My legs are hip distance or just slightly wider. Okay, the tops of my feet are flat on the floor. You can go ahead and rest your head down on the mat if you want right now. So using your abdominal or your belly muscles, you're going to think of lifting your left leg off the floor. So your leg is going to remain straight. You're not bending the knee. You're lifting the leg as one whole unit up off the floor, about 6 inches. Okay, a little higher only if it's comfortable and you don't feel any pinching in the back. Lower if you feel that pinching. Okay, we don't want any pinching. Now, can you raise your right leg to do the exact same thing as the left leg is doing? Think of them being on the same level. Your toes are reaching way out behind you. My arms are still on the floor. I'm holding this. I'm gonna start to sound shaky soon. Let's let it go. Good job. So you can relax all the way down on your mat. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to kick it up a notch so you can stay here at this level, or you can add the arms, and I will talk you through that. So I have very tight shoulders. If you have tight shoulders like me, I'm just gonna bend my elbows a little bit and slide my arms, my elbows a little closer to my body. So they're kind of like the cactus shape or a goal pose shape. Just bend slightly, feel more comfortable, but they can stay extended. So that neck is nice and long. I'm using my belly muscles. I'm gonna lift that left leg. Use your stomach. You're gonna notice your butt muscles kind of kick in. You're gonna feel it work the butt muscle. I'm gonna raise my right leg. Now remember, you can stay here, or I'm gonna take both arms, lift them both. I hope you're breathing. And this is usually where the neck kind of goes wrong. So you wanna imagine that neck being nice and long as part of your spine. And hold this. Hold and breathe. In 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Good job. So I'm just relaxing everything here, taking a moment to settle, letting my body kind of recover before I go into a third set. All right, I hope you're feeling good, and this is feeling like a little bit of work. So I'm extending those arms out again. Because I'm tight in the shoulders, like I said, I'm going to keep those elbows just a tiny bit bent. Lining up that head so your neck is in line with the spine. So it means my nose is facing the floor or the mat. I'm going to lift my left leg. Imagine using your stomach muscles to lift your left leg. This also strengthens the back, so it's about 6 to 8 inches above the floor. If you have a bit more flexibility in the back and the hips, it can be a little bit higher. I'm going to raise my right leg to meet the left. They still remain hip distance or slightly wider apart. Now I'm going to raise those arms again. Here we go. Watching that neck. We're going to hold it a little longer because this is the superhero, and you guys are truly superheroes. All right, keep breathing. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So we're going to release it down, relaxing. Take a couple breaths here. And I'm going to give you one final challenge. You're going to feel this. So we're going into that superhero exercise, but you're going to swim. You're going to imagine fluttering your arms and legs. I will talk you through it. So you can raise up into that superhero legs, and I'm going to raise my arms, superhero position. Now I'm going to raise my right arm, left leg a tiny bit higher, and then lower it back down, not quite touching the floor. Left arm, right leg, and switch. So it's opposites. And we're going to imagine swimming. So imagine fluttering. And if you get mixed up, that's okay. So flutter the arms and legs. So it's like a tiny swimming motion up and down. 3, 2, and good job. That was a challenge. So make sure you grab some water. I'm going to come on up to sitting. And after the break, you can join me for a cool down. Good work, everyone.
Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
All right, everyone, we're going to cool down the body. So that means stretching the muscles that we have worked, because you have earned this, and so have I today. So we're going to do our cool down standing often. In general, I sometimes like to come to the ground, but we're going to stay standing nice and tall. Your legs are hip distance apart, feet planted firmly on the floor. If this is quite uncomfortable, you can have your legs just slightly an inch or two wider than hip distance, but no more. This just gives you a bit more of a stable base. So the purpose of the cool down also helps recover the body. So we're going to do some of the opposite movements to the muscles we have worked. So we're going to start with our hands at our sides, long down by your thighs, your outer thighs. Okay, now I'm going to turn my hands so my palms face the back of the room. So my forearms are facing the front of the room. My palms are facing the back of the room. So your arms are straight. We're not going to bend the elbows. Imagine relaxing your shoulders, and you're going to press your hands behind you, moving your arms as one unit. Press behind. You're going to push a wall or a heavy couch away from you from behind. So you're going to push back, getting a stretch across the chest. I'm feeling this in the upper back. It's quite fantastic. So you want to go to that point where you feel a stretch. So I'm going to press back a little further because I could use a little more. We never want pain. Breathing nice and deep. We get to slow that breath down, and it just feels good. So release it. My hands are going to come back down to my side. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a wiggle here. So we're going to go into a stretch that reminds me of I Dream of Jeannie. So if you're in my generation, you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, perhaps Aladdin. So it reminds you a bit more of what a genie would do. So you're going to take your arms at your sides. I'm going to raise them straight up in front. So out shoulder, their shoulder coming straight out of the shoulders, shoulder distance apart, straight out in front. The palms are facing each other. You don't want them to go higher than shoulder level. Now what I want you to do is think of giving yourself a hug. So I'm going to bend my elbows, rest my left hand on top of my right arm. My right hand, I'm bending the elbow, resting it on top of the left. Okay, so I'm crossing it across, and you can, wherever is comfortable, your forearms, your upper arms, whatever works, give yourself that hug, but my elbows are still at shoulder height or just an inch or two below. We want them facing up. So I'm giving myself that hug. I'm going to arch like a cat or bow like a genie. So I want the movement only in your upper back. So you're not going to hinge or bend forward. So we're going to arch that upper back. So think of getting a stretch forward, and imagine your elbows. Imagine I'm coming and pulling your elbows away from your body. I'm just giving them a gentle tug. You can let your head relax here if you wish, and don't hold that breath. We want that oxygen flowing. So this movement is only in the upper back. The rest of me is nice and tall, and I'm going to let it go. And because you've earned this, so I'm not going to release my hands yet. I'm just lowering the arms. I'm going to do it again. So if you've let your hands go, it's okay. Just set up again. Give yourself that hug. Your elbows are shoulder height. Your arms are shoulder distance. I've got that hug motion going, and I'm going to arch that upper back like an angry cat. Big breath. What's your neck doing? Relax it and let it go. So now we're going to fold forward, and you can feel free to hold this one for a bit if you wish. So I'm going to hinge at the hips, flat back, walk my hands down the fronts of my thighs. My back is nice and long. My neck is in line with my spine. My legs are straight, but my knees are not locked. They're soft. I'm gonna walk it down, and if you want, you can let your arms go here, your head go here. Let it relax down towards the floor, legs remaining straight. Even let your mouth relax. So you can hang out here for a bit, or slowly come on back up. You guys did some great work, so stay moving and stay motivated, and we will see you next time.
Host, Bobbi Janzen. Video production, Honeycut Studios. Integrated Described Video Specialist, M. Williams. Content Development Specialist, Jim Krysko. Supervising Producer, Jennifer Johnson. Director, Production, Cara. VP, Content Development and Programming, John Melville. President and CEO, David Errington. Copyright 2022, AMI Accessible Media Inc.
An AMI original production.